This is going to be great, y'all. I am so excited to record this episode. I'm smiling just doing the intro because how would you feel if you were in a room filled with millionaires and billionaires talking about their story, their success, and the tips that they have used to get successful and to remain successful, and not just monetarily, but success in their mentality, success in their environment, success in breaking generational curses? I mean, I could go on and I will. Welcome to the Save the Good Girl podcast. I am your host, Erica E. If you don't know me, that's okay. Welcome to your first luxury listening experience. Of course, I want you to be a part of everything quality. So you need to go to SaveTheGoodGirl.com and subscribe to the email newsletter. Also follow me on all social media platforms. So y'all, this episode is the Billionaire Presence Part 1, and I am discussing how amazing it was to be in a room filled with success. And in this episode, I'm going to walk you through how I felt. How did I get there? What happened? I'm just going to break down the whole story for y'all. And I'm also going to share some tips that I've heard along the way. This is part 1, and I'm going to do part 2 next week because it was so much. It's so much richness and fullness. I couldn't do it in one episode. So I am going to break everything down in 2 episodes. And I am excited because I feel like I just couldn't hold all this quality information to myself. This is a luxury podcast, and I need to give you guys the luxury quality content you deserve. So this is exactly what I'm doing. So y'all, let's get started because there's a whole story behind how I even got in the room. Let's talk about it. This morning when I woke up, I did a slow morning. I am very serious about ensuring that I have the best energy whenever I come behind the mic. And because of how wonderful this experience was, I wanted to make sure that energetically I was in a phenomenal space. So this morning when I woke up, I prayed, I read my devotionals, and today's devotional was actually talking about spiritual refreshment and just being calm and at ease and at peace. And I'm like, yes, this is the message that I needed to see and read and hear. After I did that, I took a really great shower. I used my body butter, my pink goat milk and rose scent. And then I had like a rose fragrance. And I was just really into that. I love putting body butter on my skin. It's like such an experience for me. Then after that, I had some waffles. I was drinking my water and I was writing down my notes. And as I'm writing my notes, I am reliving everything that was going on. And certain things that I forgot about, I was actually remembering as I was writing. And I was trying to debate for so long. Should I do one episode or two? One episode or two? And I was like, nope, I got to do 2 episodes because I really want to tell you guys, how did I get here? What happened? How did I get here? There's certain things that were connecting. And I'm like, yo, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, shoot, one thing connects and one thing connects. And I'm like, no, I need to share it with you guys the entire story of what happened and how beautiful it was to be a part of InvestFest that was held in Atlanta. So after I did all of that, I sat down and I'm just like, yeah, let me get this going. And I'm going to give them 2 episodes because you guys deserve luxury. I'm not going to cheapen it out. I'm really, really not. But I will say next week will be part 2, right? If you're not already, please ensure you are following Save the Good Girl, all the same handles on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Threads. And you can also find Save the Good Girl on SaveTheGoodGirl.com and subscribe. I have really, really great blog posts on there. And also to stay updated on everything that's happening with Save the Good Girl because you guys deserve luxury and I'm here to give it to you. Okay. So here's what happened. My friend reached out to me and said to me, Erica, we need to go to InvestFest. Now, InvestFest is exactly what it sounds like. It's a festival talking about investing. So there's 2 guys that have a podcast from Earn Your Leisure, Rashad and Troy. And they've been doing their podcast, if I'm not mistaken, since 2019. And then they started InvestFest. And I heard about InvestFest last year. And I'm like, wow, this is really dope. They had a lot of great speakers. They had Charlemagne the God. They had Steve Harvey. They have so many people on there really discussing financial literacy to the Black community. And I'm here for it 100%. So I heard about it. My friend goes, I think we should go. I said, okay. Before I could even send the okay, she's like, I got my ticket. I'm looking at flights. And I'm like, oh, she's like, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that we need to go. I have a feeling. And I don't really play when it comes to people and their feelings. So I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at the lineup and I'm seeing that they're going to have all these billionaires there. Diddy was speaking, Robert F. Smith, another billionaire. His name was Michael. They have all these wonderful speakers. I mean, so many speakers. So I'm looking at the lineup and I felt like this would be a really great investment. So I decided that this will be great, especially because I want to grow the brand. I want to grow the podcast. I really want to build generational wealth. I really want to learn how to diversify my money. I really want to learn how to invest. So I'm like, you know what? I think this is great. Okay, let's do it. So the same day that she told me about it is the same day that we decided to book it. And again, I was excited, but I'm just kind of like, you really had this strong feeling. Like she's like, yeah, no, I really think we need to go. We need to be there. And I was like, all right, girl, it's booked. I'm excited. We're going. Let's go. Because I think this is going to be great for us to learn. And I'm all for it because I don't think that events like this is not for everybody because you are there for 2 days learning and absorbing so much information. But for me, I loved the idea of that because I need that to fortify me. Like I need to be in spaces like that. So I was really happy to be there. And then to also find out, right, that Troy and Rashad did this podcast a few years ago, developed a wonderful team, decided to do this to do this event and have InvestFest and have people believe in the event and want to be a part of it. I believe Steve Harvey is also a partner now. So it was founded by Rashad Bilal, Troy Millings, Matthew Garland, and Matthew McDonald. So I'm like, all right, okay, four Black brothers. I am here for it. As well as Steve Harvey being a partner, I believe he's a part of it as well. So it's just amazing. I'm like, they have so many wonderful speakers. Like, we need to go and be a part of it. So here's what happened. After we decided that, right? Earlier this year, I went to a women's networking event called Friends Fest. And this is where I met the beautiful Sybil and Nakia. They both have their own brands. Sybil has the Great Girlfriends, and Nakia also has her wonderful Support Your Girlfriends events as well. Like she travels and they do all these wonderful, great things. So we went to this VIP luncheon, which was phenomenal. I loved it. Like I just love events like that. I get fortified by it. So we went to this luncheon and I met this woman when I was working. She was part of a vendor for the last company I worked for. And I saw her again. So she was like, Erica? And I'm like, oh my God. So we're talking, whatever. She's like, we need to connect. So we connected, we went to lunch. And as we were talking about InvestFest, we were saying, oh, we're going to go to Atlanta. She goes, oh, I have an Airbnb in Atlanta. I'm like, really? She was like, yes, my husband and I own an Airbnb. You guys can stay there. I'm like, oh my God, these things are aligning because really, right? I haven't seen this woman in like maybe a year or two. So to be reconnected with her and see her again, and now she has this Airbnb that's available for the weekend that we need was phenomenal. So I was really, really excited about that. And I'm like, can you talk about timing? The flight was secured, the tickets were secured, now the space was secured. We have the car rental together. Everything is working out. Everything is working out. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a really, really exciting trip. So now we have all of these things figured out. And they added, I don't think they released all the speakers right away. So they are adding more and more, they're releasing more and more of the speakers or who's going to be there, how the event's going to be. They sent out a wonderful itinerary. So I went to the library. Yes, I did. I printed out the itinerary and I highlighted all of these speakers that I wanted to see, which was practically all of them. Which was practically all of them. But I wanted to prepare myself. I really wanted to prepare myself. And it's so interesting too, because prior to InvestFest, I was feeling a little off. nothing happened per se. I think, when you just have that feeling of, what am I doing? What's going on in my life? I want to do this. I want to do that. This is not happening. I'm not here yet. I was going through all of that prior to the event. And it's so interesting what happened prior to the event that really helped shaped my energy. And I was in spaces and I was around people that I didn't know I needed to be around. But all of that helped me get to InvestFest. So I'm not in the best place, right? Mentally, I think that sometimes we all go through that where it's just kind of like, when you stop and think, you're like, what is going on? I have no idea what's going on. I know that I'm trying, I know that I'm doing, I know that I'm present, but there's still certain things that I want in life. There's still certain things that I want to obtain. There's certain things that I want to do. There's certain things that I want to feel. Why am I not feeling that? So for some reason, like, I would say a week and a half before going to the event, my mind was there to the point where it's almost as if I forgot that I was going to this wonderful event. I just was so oversaturated with my thoughts and just overthinking, anxiety driven. Just it was just a lot. And what happened before InvestFest was, you know, when certain things happen, it's like, God, it's just you. I like there's nothing else I could say to explain. It's just you. So prior to InvestFest, my cousin invited me to his birthday party. Two of my cousins, they had a birthday party, and I had a great time with my friends and my family, like a really, really great time. The next day, I had a christening to go to. Love that. It was a beautiful christening. The food was great. It was at a nice rooftop. We took great pictures. The weather was phenomenal. It was great. The next day after that, I went to a pool. So one of my friends has a pool where she lives. It was really hot that day, so I went to the pool. The next day after that was when I spent time with my nieces and nephews, and I was like all stressed out because I had to get prepared. I had to get prepared for the event, and I knew that I was going to be gone for a couple of days, so I had to make sure that all of the Save the Good Girl brand work that I had to do had to be done, which was making sure the episodes were recorded, social media was great, my blog post was great, everything is scheduled properly. Like, I just had a lot that I had going on. So when my nieces and nephew came, it just made it so fun and easy and light. And it's just something I didn't know that I needed. And then Tuesday, I went to go see my friend's mother. So my friend's mother, very significant to me because she was my first example of a businesswoman in terms of like working in corporate America. She gave me my first job, and I've learned so much from her. And a lot of my business personality comes from her. So I always give her credit because she really, really molded me into the businesswoman that I am today. So I spent time with her. I bought her a bag that I had in my car for mad long. So I was like, "Oh my God, are you home? I'm gonna give you the bag." She was making fish. She actually hit me up and said, "I made fish." She is from Barbados. Let me tell you, Bayesian fish. Let me tell you something. If you have the opportunity to have some, please have some. It was so good. Having wine with her, talking to her. I've just been in this space of just quality time. I love spending quality time with my friends and family. I like adore. So having all of that really like reset my energy. Then on that, the day before I left to go fly out, I got my manicure, I got my pedicure. I needed like, toothpaste and all of that stuff, to pack. So I felt better. I felt better. My anxiety decreased. I was hopeful, I was excited, and I became more present to get ready to go to the event. So I'm getting ready to go to the event. I'm packing my stuff and I'm intentional about what I'm packing. I was trying on my outfits, like, you know what? I want to wear this dress. I want to wear that dress. I had to make sure that I have some cute sneakers because I knew we were going to be walking all day. So I was very intentional about that. I also created some really nice business cards, and I think I'm going to post it on savethegoodgirl.com so you guys can take a look at it. Loved it. So I had my business cards. I had to pick them up. I picked up my business cards and I'm packing my stuff and I'm feeling energetic. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling excited. I'm watching the videos and I'm seeing all the speakers and I'm just like, I'm ready to be there. And I think that being around my friends and family during that time, I couldn't have asked for a better environment to be, because I almost feel like if I didn't have all that time with friends and family, like you're talking about 5 days back to back, 5 days. It was back to back to back to back to back. And then I left to go to Atlanta. So it was really, really great to be around them, to just get reignited, to laugh, to smile, to have something to look forward to. Like, one of the things that I've realized is that when you're in a really bad place, you need to force yourself to get excited about something to look forward to. It could be something simple as you watching a show and eating your favorite meal, but it's just something to look forward to. But I will say, to challenge you, being around people really does a number. It really, really does a number. One of the things that the billionaires talked about was the quality of your friendships, the quality of the relationships around you. What are they talking about? What are they doing? And how do you feel as the person is speaking? Like, how do you feel? Are you annoyed? Are you this? Are you that? So just acknowledging, like, I was very, very, very satisfied, more than satisfied with the love that I was receiving and the energy that was surrounding me. I was so, so happy. So I have my outfits, I'm packing everything up. I have my headphones, I have my suitcase together. I spoke to my friend. We are energized. We are ready to leave to go to this event. When I get to the airport, I'm like, wow, it's actually here. Like, when you can't believe how time is moving so quickly, but it is. So I'm like, wow, this event is actually here. We are really, really ready to go. And when I got to the airport, I just kind of had this sense of gratitude and just feeling grateful to even have the opportunity to do this, because many people don't have the opportunity to do that, and just thanking God that he gave me the mindset to push, because I could have took that negative energy and ran with it. I could have took it and ran with it. I really, while I was getting ready for InvestFest, I really, really wanted to be intentional about it. And I know I say intentional all the time, but like, even the way that I pack, y'all, is intentional. Like, I was trying on my outfits. I was not playing. I was to make sure I had everything that I needed to be comfortable when I was there. I had to pack my body shimmer, because if y'all don't know, like, I really do enjoy a glow and a glisten. Okay. So I had my body shimmer, and I just really felt good. I felt good. I felt really, really good. And what I will say is this: I think that another thing that they said was how important it is to go to events like this. Like, I've been to a couple of events this year, and I will tell you, there's nothing like being in person and being around influential people, like minded individuals, successful people who are willing to talk to you and give you advice to help you along your journey. There's no benefit for me to hold anything in. If anybody wanted a tip about anything that I've done, I am so willing to do that for them. And I think that at these events, you see that more and more and more. Like, I saw TD Jakes, he had a book signing. I went to this Friends Fest. I went to Invest Fest. I went to many networking events. I had my first speaking engagement, and I keep continuously meeting so many great people. Like, going to events like this really challenges your belief system. It really puts you in a place of action and wanting more out of life. And the fact that you are in a place where people see you, they hear you, and they want you to do well. And it's so important to surround yourself with that. Anything that you're interested in, whether it's like, if you love making cupcakes, go to a cupcake convention or event. You might learn a different way of how to make your cake a little bit softer or moist, or cooking it faster. Like, I don't know, but I just know that going to events are important. You learn so much. You learn so much. And I had all of this within me going to InvestFest, and we're in the flight, and I'm just thinking about, okay, I feel good. I feel prepared. My energy is good. And I didn't talk to certain people while I was getting ready for InvestFest, because, again, the energy, right? Energy transfer, y'all, is so real. And when you are on the brink of success or just in success. I think anytime you decide to do something, you are successful. You have conquered something. But when you are in a place where that requires your full attention, you just really can't afford it. Like, I can't afford to be annoyed. I am investing a flight, a ticket, all of that to be here. So I cannot afford to be irritated. I am here to learn. I am here to bring this information to my friends and my family. I am here to bring this information to y'all. I want to continue to push myself to new heights. So therefore, I had to really eliminate the BS. I had to eliminate it. Like, if you're talking about nothing, I just couldn't talk to you during that week. And because I was so full with love during that time, I couldn't. Like, I'm going to be in a room with billionaires. I had to prepare myself for that. And the nonsense could not come. Yeah, boo, that energy could not come with me, okay? Because I was on that plane and knowing that I was on my way to be around multi-millionaires and billionaires, knowing that I was going to be in the space with 20,000 people, I have no idea who I was going to meet. I needed all my energy. I needed it to network, to talk, to engage, to let people know about myself and the brand and what I'm doing. And it's a lot to learn about them, right? Like, it was a lot that I needed to do, and my energy was not being compromised. It was not. So the plane ride was very smooth. We landed in Atlanta, thankfully, very smooth. We got the rental car very smooth. We went to the house to go check everything out. The house was great. We went to the grocery store, got some groceries because we were there for a couple of days and we did have a full kitchen. We had a full townhouse, so we had enough space. And I was like, yeah, we can make our own breakfast. Like, let's be cost efficient. So we did do that. And then Friday actually was registration day. So Friday they had like the market fest downstairs, and it was like different vendors showing all of their items and what they're selling and the food trucks, and it was great, but that was more so for registration. So we decided to register on Friday and not on Saturday because Saturday was going to be insane. And I'm so happy we did because we had to find the parking garage, in which we did, and then we registered. What was so amazing about registration was when I got there, you're talking about hundreds of people on this line. Hundreds of people are on the line. And I'm like, it's 5 o'clock. The registrations process over at 6:30. It was so many people. I was questioning, are we going to be able to get our bands and register? But I will say, the InvestFest team did a phenomenal job with the logistics. Everything went smoothly and it was moving really, 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 really fast. So, yes, we did get our bands. I was very happy about that. But while I was on the line, all I kept thinking about was, wow, these two guys have a podcast. They did a podcast just like I'm doing right now. They had an idea, they had a vision, they networked with the right people, and they are hosting an event with 20,000 people who are here to learn about financial literacy. Are you kidding? Like that, it made me emotional because it was just so beautiful. It's so beautiful to me to see everybody online to learn. This is not a music festival. Yes, they had like what, three musical artists, like just three, and that was great. But it wasn't even about that. It's the fact that people are really coming together to learn about business, about investing, about entrepreneurship, about estate planning, about credit scores, about home buying, about social media, about, oh my God, I like everything. It was just great to see it. So I did enjoy being there for registration. My friend and I, we came home. We had a really great conversation just talking about the event and what we expect, the energy that we need to give, and just planning, right, to get there early because the event starts at 9. And we were like, okay, we need to get there early so that we can be in the front. And I'm happy that we did. So I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, y'all, to get ready because I really wanted to make sure that I look good, right? So I had my outfit, I had my body shimmer on, and I walked. We got in the car, got there on time with good timing, and then we walked inside. We were able to have really, really great seats. And while I was sitting there, right, I'm like, all right, the event's not starting yet. What could I do in this moment? I was networking. Why do I have to sit there and just talk? No, I got up. I had my business cards that I paid my money for. So I got up and started talking to people about the podcast and the brand and what I'm doing and the blog posts and the blog and the website. Like I was just engaging with people and letting them know about Save the Good Girl, that it is a luxury content destination, and just explaining everything that you guys know. And if you guys don't know, it is a luxury content destination. I'm all about quality, right? I'm all about quality. So I'm explaining that to them while I'm waiting, engaging, making friends, right next to us, all in the lines and talking to everybody. And I will tell you, when I was there, and as the room started to get full, and as they started the event, I said to myself, this is what it feels like being around generational wealth. This is what it feels like being around people who are going to break generational curses in their families. Because the knowledge that they are going to receive and bring back, you can't, like, you know what I mean? My mind was there. I am in a room filled with success. I'm meeting wonderful people. 20,000 Black people in one space. So peaceful, so beautiful, just engaging, talking to each other, complimenting each other. And it was just phenomenal. And as I'm sitting there, y'all, I'm telling you, I have stories that I tell y'all. As I'm sitting there, there is a coffee shop called East Rock Coffee in Oceanside, New York, in Long Island. And the owner's son, me and my friend would go to the coffee shop. We spoke to him. He's amazing. And he has a lot of business ventures that he wants to do. Can I tell y'all, 20,000 people, and I ran into him. We both did. We were like, oh my God, so it just also pays y'all. You never know. 20,000 people. How could I run into, like, it was crazy. 20,000 people. So just being in that space, being in that room, being in the room, y'all. Can I just talk to y'all about how important it is to be in the room, to make it your responsibility to be in those spaces? Because yes, watching things virtually are great, but the fire, the ignition that you get by being in person, like it doesn't compare. It does not compare. It does not compare. So one of the first speakers we met, his name was Inky Johnson, and he gave an analogy about, like, when you go to the toilet in the airplane and it says leave it better than you found it, and, like, just cleaning up after yourself and making it better, right? So he was saying that everything we touch, we need to leave it better than we found it. So that means, y'all, whatever you're doing, I don't care what you think it is a big deal. Every decision you make, you're not thinking about other people right now, but every decision you make, it will inspire someone else. You made a decision to start a new career, that's going to inspire someone. You made a decision to, I don't know, start a book club, that could inspire somebody. You made a decision to focus on your health, that could inspire somebody. So when he started off with that, and his speech was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they started off from the bat. He talked about accountability and responsibility. And it's not about what you want, but what you are willing to sacrifice. And I was like, wow, 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 wow. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your time? Are you willing to sacrifice, not doing everything with everybody? Are you willing to sacrifice being a procrastinator? Are you willing to sacrifice being lazy? Are you willing to sacrifice not wasting time and wasting days of your life? I was trying to say days of our lives, wasting days of our lives. Okay, that works. Wasting days of our lives. Doing what? Doing what? So that really came to my mind, and I'm like, he's absolutely right about that. He also mentioned that there's two gifts that we have every day: what we become and what we give. And I thought that was really great too, because it's true. What are you working towards? What do you want to do? How do you want to give back? As much as I'm doing this right now, I do want to give back. And I do feel like in a way I'm giving back by doing the podcast, but I do want to give back in a bigger way. Like I really want to give back, and I really want to become the person that I've always dreamed of. And there's certain things that I'm still pushing to do. And hearing this, right? Like they went hard from the first speaker. I mean, y'all, there's so many other tips I am going to share, but they went hard with the first speaker, discussing all of this about, how we choose to live our lives, and just the inspiration and the power that we all have if we just push ourselves and we really take the time to understand that we have it within us. Like, we have it. Today, if y'all hear me, if you hear any like movement or sounds, I'm very passionate right now and I keep touching my mic. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But today I was just like sitting and I was just hearing, like, I felt my pulse in my right wrist. And I'm like, yes, I there's purpose. There's purpose for us. So when I tell y'all, just hearing that alone, and I do have so much more that I want to say, because they went into that, and then we had a whole woman in finance segment where they talked about credit scores, estate planning, knowing about your student loans, just every oh my gosh, it was just so many great resources. But I will say, y'all, being in that space, hearing him speak, hearing him talk about this from the gate, and saying that the two gifts that we have every day, what we become and what we give, was really, really real. It was really, really real. He also said, can we be committed without being emotionally attached? Now that hit me. Like, I felt like he punched me in the face because I am not going to lie. Like Destiny Child said, emotions taking me over. It happens to me. I am not going to lie to y'all. It's not easy for me sometimes to write my blog post or do a reel on social media or do all these things to grow. It's not easy. My emotions is sometimes take over me, but can you be committed without being emotionally attached? I love that. And that is something I know for me I have to work on in all areas of my life. I do it for the podcast. I am not playing about being consistent with y'all every Tuesday and every Friday, 12 a.m. Every Tuesday and every Friday, 12 a.m. I am not playing. If I have to take a break or, a holiday, whatever cases, I will let y'all know. But I need to be consistent. So regardless of what I'm going through, I'm going to get it done, right? Now, I do have that character for other things in my life, but could it be stronger, tighter? Yes, I am not going to lie. So if you guys can see what's happening, right? As he's speaking, I'm really thinking and challenging myself, like, can I be committed without being emotionally attached? Am I taking advantage of the gifts that I have? Am I really becoming the woman that I want to be? Like, these are the things. I was really sitting there writing notes. I have notes for days because I was so inspired. And as I'm looking around, the room is quiet. People are writing their notes. They're actually asking each other for notes. Like, a woman asked me, what did he say? What did he say? We're sharing notes. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to be in that presence. And I'm taking what he's saying, and the one of the things that they all talked about was, now that you have this information, what are you going to do with it? Right? Because you took all these notes, blah, blah, blah. Great. What are you going to do with this information? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to share it. I'm going to utilize it and I'm going to share it, because being in a place where I was inspired this much, I had to bring that energy to you guys. This is a luxury podcast. It's luxury content. It's quality. And I had to bring that with y'all because this is a billionaire conversation we're having right now. All the things I'm sharing with y'all, even my stories about how I got there, the intentionality, the focus, the planning. All right. You need to be prepared. You have to be prepared. That lackadaisical, I don't care, da, 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 it doesn't work. I'm not going to lie, it doesn't work. Yes, you can leave room for spontaneity, but you need to be prepared when you're going to be in the presence, when you're going to be in the room. What would you do if you were in the room with a billionaire? You wouldn't be late. You wouldn't be, you know, dressed in pajamas. You wouldn't have your face not washed, would you? Right? You will be prepared. So listening to him speak about that and all the other speakers, which I will get to, y'all, I promise, it really, really touched me. It really, I mean, I was speechless. It took me some time to think about the title of this episode, but I really decided to call it Being in the Room, the Billionaire Presence Part 1, because I wanted to detail my journey of getting there. Yes, being in the room is important, it's vital, it's necessary. I recommend it wherever you are in the world. If there's an event that is of interest to you, whatever that is, to connect with other people, you should go. You should definitely go. I will be honest with you. I was inspired from the event, even at registration. I was inspired by registration. I didn't even hear the billionaires talk yet, and I was already inspired because Troy and Rashad started the Earn Your Leisure podcast about 4 years ago, I believe in 2019. And they have grown and have all these wonderful partners to do InvestFest, to focus on financial literacy in the Black community, to gather 20,000 people that are coming to Atlanta to learn, to break generational curses, to build generational wealth, to start their businesses, to be inspired, to be motivated, to know that you can do it. With 20,000 people in a room, I felt so inspired and I felt very hopeful. Like, I can do that. I can be on that stage one day. I can have a brand that grows. I can connect with really wonderful people. And I will connect with wonderful people. I will have a brand that grows. But to see it, right? It's hard to achieve something that you haven't seen before, or you become the blueprint, like you become the innovator, right? But to see that they had a podcast just like me. They had a podcast, they had a goal, they had a vision, they had an idea. Everything starts from an idea. I don't care how silly you think your idea is. It is monumental to somebody else. And not everybody is prepared to hear your ideas because that vision is not for them. Your vision is yours. It will not make sense to people at first. People might laugh at you. They might not support you like they think that you think they would, right? Your biggest supporters may not even be from your close friends and family. Your biggest supporters will be from a new audience. But as my friend stated, when you get out of your way, the audience will be on their way. Meaning we have to be consistent. We have to keep going. We have to believe. We have to remember that it's bigger than us. It's bigger than me. It is bigger than me. Every decision that I make affects somebody else. I have nieces and nephews and friends and family members, right? I'm doing this podcast. Y'all listening to me. So I have to be very careful about what I do. Do I get discouraged? Yes. This is why I took my time to explain to you guys the story of how I got there, how I felt emotionally, how hard it was for me, and how God really placed my family and friends to be there prior to InvestFest to really recharge my battery because I was reignited. And by the time I got to InvestFest, I will say mentally, I was ready because I needed that energy to get dressed in the morning. I had my music on, I'm putting on my makeup. I was getting dressed. I was happy. I was energized. Mind you, I was up at 4:30 in the morning making my breakfast, not knowing what to expect, except for I'm here to learn and meet people and pass out my business cards and let them know about the Save the Good Girl brand and connect with them. And I just felt amazing from that alone. Hearing the speakers speak, I felt amazing. It felt tangible. And it's like I've been in places where I compare. We all compare. It's not a good thing. You shouldn't. Don't do it. I would recommend. But sometimes I do because I overthink. And when I overthink, I'm like, well, I'm not here and I should be there. And I'm not here and I should do this. And I should be doing that. And what's going on? And I want to do this and I want to feel this way. So my mind goes through a lot. Being in a place where you have the opportunity to hear all these wonderful speakers share their stories, share some really, really wonderful advice, their resources, apps that they use, websites that they use, their insight on business, on investing, on estate planning, on credit scores, like just, I mean, literally, there was so much information there. And I will say, would I go to InvestFest again? Yes. I am in there next year for sure. I am in there next year. I am in there for as long as they're doing it. I support them. I love the event and I would definitely go back. What I would say to you is wherever you are in the world, I don't care if it's an event with two people. I don't care if you host an event and it's just you and your friend. Show up. You need you and somebody else needs you as well. Being in the room and being in the right mindset is the key to success, is the key to wealth, right? Like if you think about it, yeah, investing and all of that. But where are you going to learn this from? Everybody had to learn from someone or something or a family member or maybe going to events like this. I highly will recommend that you get in those spaces, you get in the room. I've been to a couple events this year and I loved all of them equally. Loved all of them equally. I went to Friends Fest. I saw TD Jake's book signing. I went to many networking events. Now InvestFest. And to be honest with you, is if there's more, by the end of the year, I will be going to those as well. You can never meet too many people, right? And especially when you're trying to grow your brand and put yourself out there, and maybe there's a resource you didn't know about. There's so many resources that I did not know about. They gave so many great tips that I'm going to look into. And I will say, guys, it's so important to be in the room. It's so important to think about when you're in that room, when you're in that space, what are you going to say? You know what I did before InvestFest to prepare? I also did a pitch. I thought about my pitch. I thought about my brand pitch. When I meet somebody, what am I going to say? How am I going to explain Save the Good Girl? Because I found, right, that sometimes I would freeze. If you say I have a podcast, yeah, I have a podcast. I release it every Tuesday. You lost the person already, right? You can't just say I have a podcast. I make cookies. No. There has to be some passion behind it. There has to be a story behind it, the meaning behind it. So for me, when I'm saying luxury content, I gave everybody I spoke to the story that I've worked in luxury for many years. And I thought about the craftsmanship, I thought about the quality and the time and the exclusivity that it takes to create a luxury item. And I wanted to produce that content for my brand and for my business and for my listeners and for those who engage with my content, right? So I have a better pitch. I'm just giving you guys an example, but I had to think about my pitch, my outfits. I had to have my notebook. I had a portable charger with me to make sure I have my portable charger to take pictures and videos and all of that. My mindset had to be there and clear. Every night after InvestFest, my friend and I, we had a debrief and we talked about it. We talked about our notes. We talked about the themes. I mean, we soaked it up. And y'all, next week, because I just want to talk about being in the room, so you guys have an idea of why it's so important to be in the room. And I really recommend that you take a look into what's happening in your area, any conferences that you like, any meetup groups that you find, networking opportunities, anything that you see that is of interest. I strongly recommend that you go, that you prepare yourself, that you look good, you smell good, you feel good, your energy is great, that you think about your pitch and you enjoy yourself. That's what I would definitely recommend. Next week, y'all, we are going to get into the billionaire mindset. The things that I am going to share with you guys really could shift you guys and your lives as well as your family. We're here to be luxurious. We're here to break generational curses. That's what we're here to do. I'm going to share some of the tips that these billionaires have stated, these multi-millionaires have stated, the acronyms that they have shared. I am going to share all of that. So you definitely do not want to miss next week's episode because there will be a part 2. But I will say to start, if you have the opportunity to go to InvestFest next year, I highly recommend it. It was an amazing, immersive experience. It really felt like I was in the room of what generational wealth looked like. I am seeing generational curses being broken live. That's what it felt like being at InvestFest. Seeing generational curses being broken live. You know how you go see like a live show? It's like, oh, the live band, the live music, like the feeling was different. That's what it felt like. Real talk. Real talk. It was amazing. And I recommend that you go. If you are in Atlanta or near the area, or if you can make it there, go next year for sure. And if you're not in Atlanta, you can't make it, not a problem. There's a lot of events everywhere. Find something and go. And guess what? If there's none, make one yourself. Somebody needs to be inspired. We need it. We need that ignition. The billionaire talk is starting with the billionaire mindset. And we're working on that. I'm proud to say that we're working on that. So, future billionaire, how do you feel about being present in the room? How did you feel about this podcast? How do you feel about being in luxury and having this luxury content? Did anything resonate with you? Did anything stick out? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel reignited? I need to know. I want to know. And as always, y'all, I love to hear your feedback. I really, really do. If you listen on Spotify, you can participate in the polls and the Q&A. And you can also reach out to me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Threads. Follow me, DM me, send me a comment. I do respond. And also on SaveTheGoodGirl.com. You can subscribe, be a part of luxury. It's a really great blog, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It's a really, really great blog. Check it out. And you can send me a message in the contact section. I really hope this episode was inspiring to you. It was really fun for me to record it. And don't forget, next week, we are going to be talking about Billionaire Presence Part 2, being in the mindset. And this is where I'm going to share 5 themes all the billionaires and multimillionaires have discussed. We are going to get into specific things that they have said. I am going to give you guys exclusive content because I was there and I want to share that luxury with you because that's what you deserve. As always, y'all, it's always a pleasure. I love talking to you guys. Please communicate with me. And remember what Inky Johnson said. We have 2 gifts every day: what we give and what we become. I want you guys to really think about that and think about what type of person do you want to become, because it's not too late to get to that person. It's not too late to be there. And we're striving every day and we're going to do it. So next week, y'all, come back to Save the Good Girl because it's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. I can't wait to talk to y'all. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.